How's it going, everyone? The Trout91 here for 10 tips to succeed at FIFA 16 Ultimate Team. Tip number 1, learn how chemistry works. Now, this is going to be the longest and most complicated tip I've got for you. Chemistry is extremely important in Ultimate Team. It affects how much of a benefit you get from your players stat-wise. If they have a severe lack of chemistry, their face value stats will actually decrease, so they won't be as good as they say on the card. If their chemistry is above 7, they'll actually get an increase in their face value, so their stats on the card will actually be higher than their stats on the card. If your opponent has more chemistry than you, your players will suffer ability-wise and make mistakes a lot more often. Each player has a maximum of 10 chemistry. 10 chemistry can only be achieved by either having that player packed for yourself, having played at least 10 games with that player, or having extremely strong links all across the board to that player. Chemistry is given for players by being in the correct position, playing in the same league, having the same nationality, or being from the same team. If you're on Xbox One, Legends are unique in that they link with everyone, regardless of these factors, so no matter what team you have going, if you put a Legend in there, he will link with every single player regardless. Red links on the team are dead links, which means there are no common ground between those players at all. Orange links are weak links. They will give you a decent amount of chemistry, but nothing more than that. So if you have a dead link going to that player still, it won't help them. They will still suffer a decrease in chemistry. An orange link comes about by either having the same league or nationality. Green links are strong links. They're either from the same nationality and league, or they're from the same team. By having a green link, you can actually combine that with some red links, meaning that you can still get the full chemistry. So for every green link you have, you can actually put one dead link in there. You'll get the full potential out of having someone in their exact position, but that doesn't mean you have to have them in the exact same position. You can actually still get some chemistry from having them in a similar position. For example, if you put a left mid at right mid, you would still get some chemistry. If you put a centre back at central defensive midfield, you'd still get some chemistry. If you put a centre forward at striker, you'd still get some chemistry. As long as your player's position is only one different from its actual needed position, you will still get some chemistry. Tip number 2, buy the coin boost at the start from your catalogue. If you go onto the game, there is a FIFA catalogue which gives you boosts and extra bits and bobs such as celebrations, players in the game, etc. that will actually benefit you massively. You can also buy yourself extra squads, extra space on your transfer list, and lots of other goodies. But if you buy the coin boost for every game that you play, you will get extra coins after that game, regardless of whether you win or lose. So it is an easy way to make some easy coins. After playing any game of FIFA, you will get tokens that will benefit you, and you can use to buy stuff like this from the catalogue. So I make sure that you buy them regardless. If you've never played FIFA before, that's fine. As long as you're playing games and you're getting those tokens, you can put them towards buying those boosts from the catalogue. Tip number 3, do not quit out of games. Not only is it a good learning experience for yourself if you're being trashed to be able to learn how to play the game properly, but there is something called a DNF, or a did not finish bonus for staying in the games. It gets bigger the more games you go without quitting, so if you're quitting out of games regularly, your DNF is going to be extremely low, and you've got to build it back up again. And once you do get it high enough, you could be earning up to 1,000 coins per win. Tip number 4, play the computer to earn cash and rest your players. The computer is really easy on lower difficulties. I think we've all played the computer on an amateur or semi-pro. It's not particularly difficult. So you don't need to worry about wasting your coins on fitness cards to play more games. You can field a really weak team against a computer, and that way you'll be saving yourself money by not having to buy fitness cards all the time. You can rest your other players, but you'll also earn cash. By playing the computer, you'll still receive coins. Not as much as you would online, however, you'll still earn coins regardless. So if you're close to being able to buy a new player, or you want to test out a squad for whatever reason, you can do it against the computer and get a feel for that team. Tip number 5, learn the discard value of players. Your discard value is your basic rock bottom minimum that a player is worth. Your non-rare gold players are worth 350 coins at least. Your rare players are worth 650 coins at least. So if you're seeing a player on the market that is a rare player going for less than 650 or a non-rare player going for less than 350, you're basically going to make a profit on that player regardless. So if you buy them for, let's say, 300 and you discarded them, you are going to make coins back on that. Tip number 6. Pick a formation that is tightly compacted if you're not particularly confident with your playstyle. This game's very, very different this year. Passing is so crucial, and it is very, very difficult at times. You can find yourself struggling to put passes together, especially if you're starting out with a bronze team. Their passing is dreadful. So if you pick a formation that is tightly compacted, like a 4-5-1 that has got lots of people in the midfield, or you pick a formation like the 4-1-2-1-2 that's got a lot of people condensely packed into the center of the pitch, you will actually have a much better time playing this game, because your players are not very accurate at their passes. They struggle to make long distance passes. So being able to have lots of players around you where you can make little quick passes is going to help you a lot better to keep the ball under your control, because it is very, very difficult at a lower standard of play. Tip number 7. Start some of your players on the bench. This is one of the most ratty tactics in FIFA Ultimate Team, and it has been frowned upon for years. But despite it being frowned upon, everyone does it. So if you've got, let's say for example, a full team that's got great chemistry, let's say it's a BPL team, and you've got yourself a Bundesliga striker who you can't actually put in the team because he has no chemistry links with anyone, start him on the bench, get into the game, and bring him on as a substitute. That player will get all his chemistry still. He will come onto the pitch with full chemistry and fit into your team nicely without affecting your overall chemistry of the team. Tip number 8. Give your players instructions. In the team management section, you can actually see that you are able to instruct your players to do certain things. So if you're a little bit frustrated with some of your strikers for not making the runs that you want them to make, you can actually tell them to get in behind the defenders, which means they'll make a lot more runs. If you're finding your players aren't quite tracking back to a defensive position enough, you can tell them to stay back when you are on the attack. If you like your players getting into the box a bit more because you like your crossing, you can tell them to do that. You are very much free to tell your players to do what you want as long as you give them the instructions. Every time you change your formation, the instructions will reset, however, so you have to keep changing them. So if you're in a game and you change your formation, you need to reapply your instructions, which is tough when you've got a limited amount of time to do it, so make sure you're very proficient and know exactly what kind of instructions you want to do. Tip number 9. Buy players with good passing stats. This is a very simple, very quick tip that this game is all about passing. You need to be able to make sure that you're making good passes and you can control the ball well. So if you're buying players with good passing, you're going to have a much better time of getting yourself into the positions you want to. So do look out for the passing stats of your players. Tip number 10, don't be afraid to shoot. It's actually very, very easy to score on this game. You can score from some silly positions and silly angles. So, if you feel like you've got a chance to score, just go for it. You never know, you might be able to put the ball in the back of the net. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, do drop a like rating. Make sure you subscribe for more FIFA content, and if you think this video would help anyone else out there, feel free to share it with that person. I hope to see you around soon. Peace out.